What's up, guys? Welcome down to the channel. Mark here, and this is the very first episode of our £1 million in a month, in a year challenge in a month. That'd be absolutely fucking great, wouldn't it? So, the idea of this and what we're trying to do is trying to make £1 million in 12 months. Now, if you don't know who I am, my name is Mark Clifford. I run Online Digital, which is one of the UK's leading digital marketing agencies, based up here in the sunny northwest. In the city of Manchester. And what I'm trying to do over the next 12 months is roadmap myself to £1 million in sales, but also lay out the process for you, guide you along the way, and bring you on the way with me. Now, what each week is going to be is kind of like an accountability check for me. I don't really care if anyone watches this, but it keeps me accountable, keeps me honest, and it shows you what is possible along the way. It's going to give you a bunch of tools and resources and stuff like that you can use along the way. So this week we're focusing on the foundations. So I've created a bunch of trackers that we use and that are going to use moving forward on a load of things. And I'm going to give them away for you to you completely free down below in the caption of the video. So you'll be able to get those there as well. And it's just going to kind of showcase what's going on. We're going to start with a minimum of one a week in terms of videos, just as the check-in, just to keep accountable. And then we're going to kind of up it from there. So it's going to be, diving in depth in ad strategies or talking more about the acquisition side of things and stuff like that. There's a couple of different strategies I'm going to outline. There's a couple of different things I'm going to use, and we'll go from there, basically. It's important to note that I do already have a base in this. We've been operating for 5 years. We do turn numbers already, but we're going to kind of use this as a baseline and from scratch. And it essentially feels like we're starting over anyway. So if you've been connected with me on socials for kind of any amount of time, you'll know that my wife and I have been traveling recently. Back in December last year, we gave up our house, we put our life into storage. My dog went and stayed with my parents, and my wife and I set off on a 5-month adventure traveling around the world. It was meant to be 12 months, and then we discovered that my wife was pregnant and we're having a baby. So we're back. I'm currently in the box room / office in my in-laws, and we're starting again from scratch. This is going to kind of be the roadmap of how I do it. So this week we're just going through the goal setting and the breakdown. Now, it's important to note as well, what I find quite shocking is that this is probably going to be easier than everyone thinks it is. It's still going to be hard work, don't get me wrong, and it's more about how much I can just kind of do the shit that I need to do consistently over time and replace the person I am now with the person who can do £1 million in 12 months. But over 60% of self-made millionaires build their wealth through the internet, especially kind of in the Gen Z / millennial area. And they do that through e-commerce, crypto, content creation, etc. Even more surprisingly than that, 40% of Gen Z and millennials now believe they don't need a traditional job to become millionaires because of online opportunities like dropshipping, YouTube, digital assets. Platforms like YouTube, Shopify, and TikTok have produced thousands of millionaires in the last decade, and most of which are, like me, under the age of 30. Just to kind of back that up with some evidence, I suppose, because that's what we're trying to do the whole way here. A couple of people that have done it is Iman Ghazi, so I think everyone who knows who Iman is works in digital education and marketing, and mainly digital education now, and his marketing is himself very good at that. He is a UK-based entrepreneur. I think he's like UK / Russian, who now lives in Dubai, high school dropout. And he built a multi-million-dollar business teaching social media marketing through IAG Media and education. And I remember when he was about 17, it was the very first course that I took, his SMMA course. Started at 17, scaled via personal branding, YouTube and Instagram, leveraged high-ticket courses between $1,000 to $5,000 and private coaching, gained the authority from there, and just went. He had his Kaizen Cure and all the different kind of programs that he does. And he's very good at what he does. Again, entrepreneur, under 30, leverage the internet for it. Absolutely great. You've also got Grace Beverly, ecom and kind of like Instagram. She's a former Oxford student turned fitness influencer. She built 2 very good 7-figure brands. So you've got Tyler, which is like a sustainable activewear brand, and then Shreddy, which is like a fitness app. Grew her Instagram following, sharing fitness content, monetized her audience via a branded app and an ethical fashion line, scaled through different influencer partnerships and Instagram ads. Did over 5 million in her first year of business. And from that, the kind of key takeaway that she gave was to build a community first and then monetize it with physical and digital products. And then the person who I want to talk about and who genuinely I credit with being where I am today is a guy called Jordan Platten. If you're in the agency space, I can guarantee you've heard of Jordan Platten. He's one of the biggest agency owners, if not the biggest agency owner in the planet right now. His educational products are fantastic. His agency is really, really good. I took Affluent Academy after I took Iman's course, and Affluent Academy got me so much further than anything else that I've ever used so far. If you don't know who he is, he's a UK-based digital marketer. I think he lives in Norfolk somewhere. Quit his corporate job. He did like sales and nightclub promoting and stuff like that. Started a marketing agency called Affluent.co, and then created the Affluent Agency, which was like the education side of it. Kind of did it off a service-based business model, ran performance-based ads for e-commerce businesses, focused on ads, funnel strategy, and ROI tracking. Then launched the Affluent Academy, scaled using webinars, YouTube content, email funnels, so on and so forth. Now does higher ticket mentorships, masterminds. I know he's done some in Mexico. Done quite a lot of stuff out of South Africa. I know he's off to Asia soon as well from his Instagram. And has a really, really good, strong personal brand on YouTube. I think it's got like over 200,000 subscribers on YouTube and Instagram. And he uses his content to generate leads for both his agency and training office. So it just kind of shows you what can be done from there. So I'm just going to kind of lay out kind of what I plan to do, how I plan to do it, and give you some resources as well and kind of show you around what we've built. So the main objectives with this is to make a fuck ton of money. I want to build an awesome team around me so that they can make a fuck ton of money as well and empower those people around me. Everyone that I've ever worked with and that works with us at the minute within the agency is infinitely smarter than I am at what we do. And I want to enable them to be able to kind of grow with the business. I've already got, a couple of stable employees. I've got Johnny, who has been my right-hand man for about 2 years now, and I absolutely love and adore that man. And On the Line Digital is him. He really helps on the fulfillment side. Our clients love him. The team absolutely loves him, and he's really, really good at what he does. We've got another guy as well called Stu, who's our SEO guy. Again, clients absolutely love him. Turns out really, really good work, infinitely better than what I do. And so I want to build an awesome team around them so that they can scale with the business and that they can, I'd love for these guys to be with me forever, but I realistically know that that's probably not going to happen. So it's so that they've got the kind of foundation and the skills to go on and do better and earn more and, do their own thing if that's what they really, really want. When I retire my parents, I desperately want to buy my wife a house. I want to buy an absolutely retarded car because I've already got my 911 on the drive and I want to get another one. I want to go on a massive cut as well. We could talk about this, but I'm, hugely overweight at the moment, just because I'm a fucking gannet. And more importantly, I want to get rid of the old version of me who isn't capable of running a £1 million a year team and grow into the person who is. And I think that's the biggest thing that I want to take from this. I'm going to be a dad this year. I want to be a better entrepreneur. I want to be a better person. And the money and the health don't necessarily make me into that person. It's the transition that happens with this that makes me into that person that I want to be. I'm already, taking steps towards that. I discovered my identity when I left the military. I advocate a sober lifestyle when I quit drinking, recovering alcoholic, all those different kind of things. And it's just building on those wins and getting from there. Let's break it down a little bit then. So £1 million a year is £83,333 per month, which breaks down to £18,817.20 a week or £2,688.17 per day. But it's important to remember this is all before tax and costs. So 1 million revenue is going to look a lot less in realised profits. That's meant to say. So what I mean by that is revenue is what comes in. Realised profits is the profit after we've paid tax, after we've paid the team, after there's any costs or cost of goods sold, which is COGS. So there's all those kind of things to kind of get through as well. It's not just a case of I've made £1 million, have £1 million in the bank. The likelihood is I'm going to have half or less than that in the bank at the end of it. But it's the kind of the journey of getting there that I want to kind of roadmap. How we're going to do it. So I've mentioned I've got my digital marketing agency, so we're doing relatively well at the minute. Got a bunch of clients. I know it can be systemized better. I help people systemize their agencies, and it's very, very good, but it's only to a point. So I'll cover the coaching program in a sec, but I know it can be better, and I know it can be higher level, and I know it can run better without me in every single kind of facet of it. And we'll delve into that in a load of other videos. I've got the coaching program, which I'd like to scale up again. I'm working with a coach to help me scale that back. We kind of exist, the program kind of exists for that gap between like 5K a month to 20K a month. Those kind of, we discovered that was the bit where you leave a lot of agency training programs, you pay £1,500, £2,000 for a course, and it kind of teaches you to get your first couple of clients, teaches you to outsource, but doesn't actually give you a stable foundation. There's no systems and processes. It just kind of go in this churn and burn cycle of sign a client, get stuck in a fulfillment cycle, client leaves, need to sign another client, and you get stuck around 5K a month. Acquisitions as well. So M&A, mergers and acquisitions, is something that I've got into the last couple of years. I've got a really, really good business partner and mentor for this. Himself last year alone did 22 million worth of deals. This year we've done £600,000 worth of deals. We're not counting anything we've done to date in this. So at the time of recording, it's the 29th of April. So anything earned before today is not counting. And my kind of main goal with this is I want to acquire another agency this year. So I'm on the lookout for that. But I also want to acquire something called a toilet paper business. So it's not toilet paper as in the toilet paper you wipe your ass with. But when we talk about a toilet paper business, it's the necessities. So toilet paper is a necessity in everyday life, and it's a necessary business. So if we're thinking on the lines of facilities management or waste removal or storage units are a really, really good one. And I think that's probably the kind of route I'm going to go down without kind of getting into a trade. So that's the kind of thing we mean via that. And that's a really, really good way to kind of scale really aggressively. We've got a plan for that, and we've got a plan to exit within the next 10 years. And this is going to kind of be hopefully the really good big first step for that. Content and affiliateship. So my content already is monetized on Facebook and Instagram, so we're going to break that down every week. Don't earn an awful lot through it. It barely puts a tank of fuel in my car every month, but it's there, it counts. And how we're going to scale that. And an affiliateship as well. So kind of affiliates from software that we use, things that I use in my day-to-day life that I can kind of pass on to you guys with a discount. Anything that we do get affiliated with along the way is only going to be stuff that I actually use and I actually recommend. So like the first one is going to be Go High Level. And we'll talk about that a bunch through these videos as we kind of go through and show breakdowns of pipelines and stuff like this. But it's something that we've used in the agency every day for like the past 3 years. And, Whoop, I use Whoop to track all my kind of fitness wearables and stuff like that. So it's only going to be stuff that I actually use, that I'm going to advocate for and affiliate for. I'm not just selling my soul just to try and get the money. And then finally, different investments in crypto. So, trading 212, am I investing in crypto coins? Any kind of reinvestments back into the business from the profits that are made? Looking to getting into property investment and kind of seeing how that's going to work, and, various different things along the way. Different trackers and keeping myself accountable. Now, this is where I'm going to show you each track that we've made and that you can get for free under this video. All you have to do is click the link, put your email in, and you'll be sent them straight away. So the first is an outreach and sales tracker. And I'm just going to kind of show you these as we go through, as it all kind of just make more sense. So we've got our outreach and sales tracker. And this is split down into a couple of different ways. Now, I'm just going to make me smaller at the bottom so you can't see my head over everything. Oh, no, I'm not. Okay, I'll just drag it out of the way a little bit. There we go. So this first side, so this blue is all editable data, and this is our forecasting. So it tells us through, obviously, what month it is, what our revenue goal is, what our sale price is, how many sales we need to hit our goal, our close rate, and then number of messages, calls needed, number of leads needed, daily number of leads needed. And then if we wanted to double that outreach target, 2x, what would be needed? So if we use May, for example, So for me, let's say I want to get to 30,000 monthly revenue as a rough idea, and my sales price is 2,500 plus VAT, so that's £3,000. So it tells me that I need 10 sales to hit 30,000 month revenue. Now, close rate. We're going to go into this a little bit kind of later down the line once we've built some data, but your close rate is never going to be as good as you think it is. There's a KPI calculator that we use that you're going to get next week, because I don't want to overwhelm the information and you kind of jump ahead. But basically, it's going to dive into every single part of the process, show you exactly where the bottleneck is, and then kind of give you your accurate close rate. Everyone thinks their close rate is 90%, and if it was, you would only need 222 leads a month. Your close rate is 90%. Your close rate is probably closer to like 30%, if that. So conservatively, I'm going to put 30%, which means that for every 33 calls, messages, or emails that I send, I should make a sale. A 5% booking rate, that's what I need. That's how many leads I need at a 5% booking rate. That's how many daily leads that I need at a 5% booking rate. And if I wanted to double that target, that's how many daily leads I need. And then it will kind of adjust every single month. So let's say by June, I want it to go to 50K. The sale price is still 3,000. And we discovered that, oh no, I don't want £50, I want 50K. And we discovered that my close rate is actually sitting at 24%. It adjusts like so. Pretty self-explanatory, I think. We've then got different ways to track. So down the left-hand side, you've got date. If you just drag and drop, it will drag and pull. It will kind of populate the dates automatically for you all along the way. This is going through kind of our outreach method, and I will break this down in another video, but basically how many friend requests we sent, how many total Facebook friends we've got, how many accepted requests per day, how many DMs, combos, cold calls made, discovery booked, blah, 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 blah. And at each point throughout the day, I just go through and I will fill this out. So 50 friend requests, 1,500 friends. That gave me 4 accepted friend requests. I sent my 30 DMs. I got 16 conversations started. I didn't make any cold calls. I booked 5 discoveries. I didn't have any today. I booked 3 sales calls. I had none today. No follow-up calls booked. No follow-up calls had. 0 sales, 0 cash collected. And I fill that in every single day like clockwork. It is a non-negotiable, this. So I can accurately track how much sales activity we're doing. I then back this up with a sales pipeline, so that we can track where the money is at any given point, so that if I do need to go and scramble around and look for sales, I know exactly where they are. And this gives us this data here at our close rate, because when I put this into the KPI calculator, it's going to tell me over the month, well, you sent, let's say, 5,000 DMs. You only started X amount of conversations. That means there's something wrong in my initial messaging that I need to improve on. Or, I sent 3,000 DMs, 300 DMs, sorry, 3,000 was wild. I sent 300 DMs. I started 250 conversations, which is great, but only booked 5 discovery calls. That means there's something wrong in the messaging, or there's something wrong in the content. And again, we've created that for Instagram and LinkedIn as well for you to use, but then also for mass email as well. So there's that for you to use. And again, this is all completely free of charge. So I'll put a copy of that down below for you. Next on here, we have our personal daily tracker and our habit tracker. So habit tracker is a really, really good one to have. So the aim of this is to identify what negative habits that we have that will be detrimental to the business, and how we can flip those on the heads and turn them into positive ones. Again, we use this within the mentorship program, so that's why it says please be honest as you can here. There's no judgment, but this is only for you. I'm very, very happy for you to reach out to me if you want to talk about any of this, if you want to go through any of this. I'm happy to talk through it. And just please know there is never, ever any judgment on my side. I'm the least perfect person in the world. It's far from me to judge anyone. It's just all coming from a place of love and being able to help. The book Atomic Habits by James Clear is really, really good. It really, really helped me when I was quitting drinking, when I was quitting smoking, and I linked that to Amazon as well. The first thing we want to do is identify any good or bad habits. A list below as many as we can think of for both good and bad, and remember to include things like diet, exercise, etc. So, like for me, a good example is my morning and nighttime routines, and I stick to them pretty consistently. A bad habit is that I still smoke. I actually need to update this because I don't smoke anymore, but it has a negative effect on my health. So, a bad habit for me could be what's a bad habit that I have? I eat too much pizza. I eat far too much pizza. That's why I'm a bit overweight. But basically, you just need to kind of put in your good and your bads and just be really honest with yourself. So, like, good could be you exercise regularly, you eat healthily, you meditate and stretch, quite calm under pressure, whatever it is. And then bad habits could be you're a late sleeper, you don't get to bed till late, you're consistently comparing yourself to others, you try to do too much, overly self-critical, you smoke too much, you drink too much, you take drugs, whatever it is. And that's probably the hardest bit, is identifying that and being really, really honest with yourself intrinsically about breaking that habit. Step 2 is about breaking those, and it's by no means easy. If you've ever tried to quit smoking like I have, you'll understand what I mean. It's really, really difficult. There's constant triggers, whatever it may be, that makes it really, really hard, especially something that's got an addictive substance in it like nicotine. So we kind of outlined a framework here for identifying a trigger of a habit, what happens when you practice the habit, and how to avoid that trigger, and the new benefit for that, and then reframing it in our mind. We've included space. I've put space for here for a few, but you can put a lot more in there than you want. Don't overwhelm yourself to begin with. Just take it kind of one step at a time, because it can be really, really difficult making a load of life changes all at one time. But feel free to add more in kind of as you need to. And this is the example of mine that I actually used when I quit alcohol back in December 2021. So the trigger for me was I was feeling stressed, or I was overwhelmed with work, and to get away from my desk, I'd head to the local pub for a drink, or I'd sit drinking in the garden, especially if the weather is like it is in the UK right now, where it's gorgeous. The reward for that was the perceived reduction in stress levels from the alcohol. But actually what it was doing is it was increasing my blood pressure, increasing my cortisol levels, putting more stress on my body because it was so unhealthy, and also having a really, really negative effect on my mental health, because alcohol is naturally a depressant anyway. I learned how to avoid that trigger. I identified that I had the problem. How to avoid the trigger is I learned to manage and prioritize my workload better and educate myself on resilience to stress. I then had to turn my identity to someone who no longer drinks, as it isn't an activity that serves who or what I want to be. So I didn't identify as a recovering alcoholic, which in terms I am, but I now identify as somebody who no longer drinks, as it isn't an activity that serves who or what I want to be. I removed all the alcohol from the house. I moved away from the pub that I used to drink with, loads of good friends in there, loads of old army friends, or I would replace it with another positive activity, such as walking the dog, things like that. Seriously, my dog was absolutely fit as fuck when I first quit drinking, and now she's a right fat little cow like me. And then I knew you put some new framing on that. So the stress I put myself under within my business and my life is a privilege. There are many who would love the opportunity to be building their dream life like I am. By removing alcohol from my life, my actual stress levels are lower because of the effect it was having on my body. Now when I'm feeling a bit stressed, instead of reaching for the bottle, I tell myself that I'm somebody who doesn't drink because it no longer serves who I am and what I want to do in my life, and I will instead reinforce that with a positive, healthier activity such as walking the dog. And now it's your turn. So that will also be down below as well. Next we have cash flow forecasts. Sorry if you see the cut in that. I had to go and just delete some sensitive information from this because it's a template of a real tracker that we use within the business. So this is a 20-week flat cash flow forecast, and it covers absolutely everything that we kind of think about when managing cash flow. It's really, really important to do this, and really, really important to get this right. Because knowing your numbers inside out is really, really crucial to running a profitable business and making sure that your business is staying above water. know what's coming in, what's coming out at any given point is really going to help you. So we've got this starting from the week of Monday, the 28th of April, and then we've just dragged it across. So it'll take you all the next 20 weeks, which is 29th of September, which is conveniently the day after I run the Berlin Marathon, if anyone would like to sponsor me. But in here, we've basically got all of our cash flows. So we've got our operating income. So let's say for this week, it's going to be 15,000, for example. I'll put the pound symbol back. Yeah, so how much from commercial sales? So this could be, let's say, 12,500. Retail sales was 2,500. Other revenue, none. Dirt, no recovery, HMRC refunds, etc. And then you just simply go through, and it's just how kind of, we've got our variable payments, and then these are our kind of like operating payments. So we've got, for example, trade suppliers, and all wages, a retained former owner. So this was when we purchased the business, so we'll get rid of this one because you don't need that for now. Staff wages, if any staff are taking loans against the things, how much PAYE or national insurance, any equipment hire, any petty cash, rent, rates, light and heat, etc., all the way through. Business credit cards, consultancy fees, finance fees, anything like that you've got. And then we've also got different subscriptions, so phones, banks, bookkeeping fees, accountancies, any HMRC. We've put quite a lot in there. And as you go through and you update this, let's say £50 on the Amex and £150 on the car this week, it will show me exactly what the operating payments are and tell me what the net movement is for the week. So if it's positive, it will just say like this. And then if I go to next week and I put 400 in and it's negative, it will go into brackets and it will tell me exactly what my closing bank balance is that week. And then you carry that over. So our operating income for this week is 14,800. And then you repeat the process and so on and so forth. You could put what you have in your combined bank accounts in there so you know how much cash is in there. A revenue breakdown of client one, client two, blah, blah, blah. Give them a breakdown, what they pay you, when they pay you, how that's done. Any suppliers, so this is your staff basically, or any freelancers, and then total marketing budgets as well. So again, that will be down below for you as well. And then finally, the personal daily tracking to go with the habit tracker. So I've created this for me, but it gives you a basic template of what you want. And then you've got a kind of a breakdown of each. So food and water. So for me, I know exactly what I need to be having in terms of grams of carbs, fat, and protein. It's called my macros. I use MyFitnessPal for this, which is a great little app. So I know that my base goal every day is 2,470 calories. That's kind of that or below of what I've got to eat. With my training for my marathons, it's ever so slightly higher than the daily average, also because of my weight and my height, it's slightly higher than the daily recommended average. But because of the amount of exercise, that's a healthy level to lose about half a kilogram a week. I then know that every single day I can have 314 grams of carbs, 83 grams of fat, and 125 grams of protein. I'm taking that a bit looser this week. I ran Manchester Marathon 2 days ago. I need to rehydrate. I need to refeed. And kind of get some food back in me. So I'm taking that a little bit kind of for granted. And again, when I build up 2 race weeks, I need to have more carbs, less fat. So again, that will change ever so slightly. And then basically what I do is every single day I put in what I've had. So I started this yesterday. Yesterday I had 90 grams of carbs, 44 grams of fat, and 39 grams of protein. Tells me what I had, total grams of each, the percentage of each that I put in there, and how many litres of water I've had in that day. So far today, I could tell you that I've had 63 grams of that, 42 grams of fat, and 75 grams of protein. So it's telling me exactly what I've had and a breakdown. And I've had 2 litres of water so far today. Non-negotiable for me is 3 litres every day. I've got a weight tracker, so it will tell me what my goal weight is. And then I weigh once a week on a Monday. So when I last weighed yesterday, it was 96.3 kilograms and 32.6% body fat, just so I can track that. And then exercise, just got to break it down into weeks. What my workout goal is that week, percentage achieved, how many I actually did. So this week it's just one. I'm just going to do a 6K easy run on Thursday just to recover after marathon. When I've done that, I'll hit that as one, and I've hit my workout goal for that week, so on and so forth. So again, that is down below for you. Now, that covers that. I'm going to cover pipelines as well. I've put it in, but I didn't quite have the document ready, and I needed to record this today to get it out and keep myself accountable and keep my word to it. But I'm going to run through that in a separate video because there's 2 pipelines I want to run through and how they can work for you as well. The cut. So we've just covered this. So basically how I'm going to do this, how I'm going to lose all the weight, tracking my macros, a base goal of 2,470 calories to get below 90 kg, 312 grams of carbs, 83 grams of fat, 124 grams of protein daily, 3 workouts a week in push-pull leg splits. So one day is push exercises, one day is pull exercises, one day is a leg day, leg and core. And then also 3 runs per week in the build up to Berlin Marathon in September. That's the plan for the weight loss. That's the plan for how we're going to grow the business. Every Monday, new video is going to come out and we'll record and upload, reviewing the numbers and feeding back, weigh in, how that's gone, how the week's gone. I'm also going to show you what money we've made, what money we've spent, and kind of where we're at inside of that goal. All of those links are down below for you to get. All you need to do, click on the link, submit your email address, and that will get pinged over to you. If you're not already, like and subscribe to the channel. It does go a long way in helping me. It kind of will give me that motivation to go along. I'm still going to do this for 52 times until the 29th of April next year. Come along on the journey, tell your family, tell your friends, whatever, or don't. But I hope that you get something from this, and I seriously hope that I get what I want from this as well. Ciao.